Hey guys, this is Tension bringing you another Raid Shadow Legends video this morning. And today I'm just going to go over 5 good mid-game to late-game tips. This is not the typical, save your energy kind of tips for new players. This is some things I've noticed I catch myself doing, and I think would be pretty helpful that I haven't seen much on the forums or anything. So enjoy the video. Let me know if you have any questions at the end. Number 5. Save your silver is obviously the basic tip you get, but know when to spend your silver is the next step of that. So my rule of thumb, and you can see this legendary I just pulled this morning, is if a weapon or any kind of artifact has 3 good substats on it, invest in it. This weapon is insane. It makes me want to start using some savage gear, so I'll have to figure this out. But if you invest silver into a artifact that has 2 good substats and say it has resistance and I don't know, flat defense, you could spend a million silver plus getting that to level 16. And if you get RNG screwed over and you don't get the good substats, yeah, that's still probably a good weapon to use or a good piece of gear to use in the beginning. But it's kind of a waste of silver because eventually you're going to replace that with better gear, and when you need to get to that precise amount of stats in order to make the most efficient champion build, you're going to want to have the substats the way you want them to begin with. So, for example, these substats are insane on this weapon. I would invest heavily in sink as much silver as needed to get this level 16 when I need to get it up. But again, make sure that you manage your silver properly. Don't just throw it randomly to get artifacts to level 16. A good rule of thumb is if you get a decent piece of gear that is 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 substats, get to level 8. See if the RNG is on your side, but don't go further than that unless you absolutely need it or for sure know you're going to invest in that piece of gear. Number 4. Building your clan boss roster and when to attack the clan boss based on that roster. So as you can see from my top 10 champions, I am actually pretty even. I actually lack damage on the magic side though, which is pretty crazy because I feel like magic's the easiest champion to get. But so what I mean by this is I have 4 really strong force clan boss champions. I also have 2 really strong spirit champions. And 2 really strong magic champions. So force is definitely the way I lean. So 2 things can happen here when I go into clan boss battles. I can even attack when the boss is above 50% HP or below 50% HP. So if he's above 50%, he's this neutral affiliation, but if he drops below, he'll randomly select the new one. So since I have 4 strong force champions, I can do either or. But if you're in the situation where you have a set 5 team clan boss and say like it's 3 magic, 2 force, whatever the reason may be, it's probably better for you to get your attack in earlier before the clan boss gets below 50% to make sure that you don't get countered. So with me, I can replace champions since I have 8 champions maxed out on masteries that can go in and out. So if this, even though I have 4 force champions, if this becomes a spirit champion, I can just replace some of my team and go about it. And it doesn't affect my damage too much. It will drop because I do lose some of my heavy hitters. But if it was a scenario where I didn't have that option, if it became a spirit and I had force champions, it would kind of waste my damage for that day on the keys. I would have to probably use more keys to get rewards. So the rule of thumb is if you can't switch out champions, go ahead and hit the boss before he drops below 50% to ensure that you aren't losing damage. Number 3. And I said this in other videos, but make sure that your energy is always regenning. So in this game, energy regens at a rate of 1 energy per 3 minutes or 20 energy per hour. So easy math, if you're level 50, you have 120 max energy. It would take 6 hours to max out. So for crazy events like this, where we have this event going on where you need to basically spend thousands of energy just to complete it, it is super important that you use your energy. A lot of times what I do is I wake up in the morning and before I go to work, while I'm making breakfast or my coffee or whatever, I will just go in 12-3 and farm, use all my energy just to get a couple 2-star, 3-star champions leveled up real fast. That way my energy is regenerating at work, and I don't always get to check it at work, but if I do, I will use it on my lunch break or whatever. But by using that energy and making sure it regens, you get up to 480 energy a day at level 50 just in the regen properties. And that's not including all the extras from the daily logins and everything. So you're looking at 500 energy just by letting it regen constantly. Big tip, this game is very grindy. You're going to be grinding champions like crazy. Any extra energy you can use and be most effective with, is the way to go and to save your time down the road. Number 2, when there is a fusion event like this, I should have saved this to show you guys, but when you have a bunch of champions where you need to build and it's time restricted, it can be really easy to forget what champions are that you need, especially if you're not familiar with them. When I do pools, usually I'll have like 40 space after I farm up and start eating all my food and everything. I will summon about 40 champions. The first thing I always do is I always go to the fusion tab and make sure I didn't pull anything. If I did, I go straight into it and I even extend them or I lock it. That way I don't accidentally use it. I've done it in the past where I will pull one of these uncommons like this on these time events and I won't notice because I don't check it and I will use it to level up food and I'm like, oh shit. So now I have to go back and farm it again. So rule of thumb is whenever these events up, every time you do a large summon, I would say 10 or more, go just click on the fusion tab, make sure you didn't pull it, and if you did, lock it up or ascend it. That way you know where the champion went. Alright, and my number 1 tip for the day is how to spend gems. So if you notice, at the beginning of the month, you see a large influx of blue shards because you can get them in the market. Again, you get them out of dungeons. So it's capped in the background, so you can get 5 blue shards per month out of the market. You can get 5 from dungeons. From your weekly thing, you'll get a blue shard. So you're looking at about 15 blue shards just monthly that you get probably with playing the game. So I actually don't recommend spending your gems on blue shards at all. Energy is the name of the game. For 40 energy, you can get for 40 gems, you get full energy. Again, energy is the staple of this game, so I recommend that your gems goes towards that. Obviously, this isn't the beginner guide, so I'm not going to go over the mines or the sparring pit. Energy is what your gems go towards. Save it for your energy, stock those, make sure you're doing your daily quest to get those 10 gems for doing the beginning quest. The daily login quest, and then you get 25 per day. My math is wrong. Sorry, I had a moment. You get 15 from the mine, and you get 10 from your daily quest. So that's 25 gems a day. Just that takes 10 minutes to get. Not very hard. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're saving up and use them for energy. As always, guys, this is just my top 5 tips for mid-game. Kind of not your typical tips I want to go over. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. Like the video, sub if you like the content. And as always, thanks for stopping by and watching the videos. I appreciate it.